one pinch, okay. So a new video started. So if I put one pinch, so it's like I'm gonna try to repeat in case it, the fact that it cut off. So I put 2 pinches of salt yesterday. I put 2 pinches of salt yesterday in my grits, and I put 2 pinches of salt in my grits yesterday, and I believe that helped me go to sleep. But I can't always do that because the canned and packaged foods that I have been having to live off of, they already have the bad sodium, and it's like high in like those meatballs, for example, which is processed. Those kinds of meatballs that taste like tough bologna, the texture of tough bologna. That's the type of food that will have, like, you gotta watch your sodium, or they might have, like, excuse me, high sodium, or if they have canned collard greens that they want to say is turkey flavored, I gotta watch out because that's high sodium. So yeah, I believe that. I mean, because when I was at the other motel and Publix was right across the street, then I was able to have like a specific plain oatmeal that I can doctor it up the way I want it. I can put as much peanut butter in it, as much honey in it as I want, and I can put, I can add 2 pinches of pink Himalayan salt. And that helped me sleep most of the nights. But over here, living off all that canned food and packaged food, there's really no store nearby. I'm not working. I don't have a job right now. I'm not working, and still can't find a job, still can't get a job, and a job that would be suitable for my disability. I couldn't work in an insurance office anyway because they might have, a narcissistic gum clicker, somebody who makes the clicking noise with the gum or something, or somebody who smacks their gum 8 hours a day. I can't work around idiots like that. Demonic idiots like that. And then some of you bastards say you love the Lord. I mean, if somebody smacks their gum like an uncivilized cow all day, every day, and then people want to make it like I'm not allowed to wear my earbuds and make it like, oh, it's just so ill-mannered and disrespectful for me to wear, my earbuds all day. So it's just so hard. I mean, I always needed somewhere where I can either work by myself or work at home or work from home or something. And I could have been had a job. But the Tracy Boyd person from Z-Trip, he keeps putting roadblocks, or, he keeps trying to deter me and hindering me from trying to get a cab driving job. But everybody else, people who you would think have less intelligence than me, how do they pass the test? And they get to successfully be a cab driver. And on some of those days, when I went to take those, they made sure I was the perps, no matter if I used the the pink Himalayan salt the day before, and I try to go to sleep, they make sure to sleep deprive me the night before on purpose, so that if I try to go take the written test or those courses online, they make sure that I'm not allowed to pass the test. And it's like the perps don't want me driving or having a car, or they don't want me eating. They don't want me to do anything. And so one of my somewhat newer subscribers had told me, about the greedy issue. He said, don't let them anchor you with that word. So, he told me, don't let them anchor you with that word. But it's like, that's been a trigger word since I was in elementary school, the word greedy. And, it's pretty narcissistic when you fat like Miss Ollie from the Kraft family and still going to call me fat and greedy. And, or Miss Linda from New Orleans Tower. I used to call her her and her family, I used to call them the greedsters. And they were narcissistic, obese perps. So, Miss Sally Falcone from McDonough 26. I used to call her Humpty Dumpty, and she was obese and fat for years, and condemn me and call me greedy in elementary school. And she used to punish me when I was on Prozac or other psych medications, and I wasn't nearly as fat as I am now. And the kids used to be like, "Here, Candy, you want some of my food? Yeah, I'll take it." And then wait till after I eat it to be like, and it's like, "Here, Candy, you want some of my food? Yeah, I'll take it." Shake their head and be like, "Greedy," and then give it to me. Be like, "Oh, just greedy," and then give it to me. And then after I ate it, then they'd be like, "Eh." They'd wait till after I ate it and say, "Eh, he spit in it." So those kids, they knew what the hell they were doing. But I didn't know, because I wouldn't even see them spit in it. So, so I mean, and Miss Sally used to punish me and not the other kids. It's like, growing up, they will always punish me and my twin sister when we got bullied, but they didn't punish the kids who were bullying us. So, and it's kind of like selling out. If you've been bullied all this time, and then you turn around and be a bully, it's like you cave in and you start to try to fit in and try to be cool, so you won't get picked on, and then you get big-headed and arrogant, and then you start thinking you can bully and pick on people. So, I just try to be myself, and, and people want to be like, yeah, just greedy. Well, it developed, and dealing with so much bullying and abuse, and even in the foster home, being called greedy, or if anyone else were to eat, like say if the foster brother Joe might eat up a whole pan of food or something, and then lie and think it's funny to lie on us, and have the foster mom whip us while he kicked back and laughed, for example. Or the foster sister Shelly do the same thing, for example. If Shelly came over and visited, and they would use us for favors and stuff, and be like, and I wrote a blog post, and I used to do YouTube videos about that too, about how the narcissistic fake foster family members pretend to be fake friendly and kiss up to you, and they'll even try to act like they want to, rub on your back or rub you on your arm and pretend to be fake friendly and be like, oh, Candy, can you give me a cup of water? And they'll tell you exactly how they like it. Oh, make sure make sure it has just three. Give me a tall, big glass of water with just only 3 ice cubes. Like the foster brother Joe's first wife, Melinda, the Filipino lady, that was his wife. And she was pregnant with Julian, punk ass Juju. And it would be hot in the summer, 1993. We would be like 9 going on 10 years old. And Melinda used to be like, well, Candy, go get me a glass of water with 3 ice cubes. As hot as it is and you only want 3 ice cubes? Or the foster mom's orders was, Candy, do me a favor. Go get me a Coke. Take my mug. Get me a Coke. Because it'd be like a 64-ounce mug. And she wanted it filled all the way to the top with ice. And a Coke. And the foster mom, she narcissistically and self-righteously would eat 1 meal a day. And then after some years later, after I graduated and turned 18, she tried to narcissistically and self-righteously be like, 'cause I eat breakfast now. Talking about she eats McDonald's. She didn't really used to eat McDonald's, but her thing to worship was doggone Popeyes. And well, it was like a week ago. Yeah, a week ago was the last day it was right when I cut my brother off. The biological brother Wyatt, he was shocked that I haven't had Popeyes in over 3 years. I haven't had Popeyes since being here in Pensacola. But I had churches like a couple of times. And I seldom eat fast food much. Well, mainstream fast food much anymore. But a lot of local businesses are closing down. If it's like the 10 Cow downtown, it's no more. And I'm going to miss the exotic, different kind of venison burgers and stuff. I only got to have the venison burger. Well, I think it was... No, I couldn't even afford the whole burger, but I had the venison patty. And they have certain, like, elegant, fine dining downtown that us poor and homeless can't afford to have, confit duck leg or confit duck or something. We can't afford a confit duck dinner. If you can have some purple sweet potatoes and roasted confit duck and an arugula salad, that's for the rich folks. We poor folks can barely just afford a McDonald's Happy Meal. They no longer have I don't even know what kind of menu they have at McDonald's no more, because I haven't eaten there in so long. So, I couldn't afford stuff like the confit duck leg. That's for the rich folks. But y'all want to talk about my luxury fancy meals? If all I can afford to do is go to Cactus Cantina and get beans and rice, or the Monday taco special or whatever. And I can't believe that it was a new employee. I mean, who I paid her in coins. I paid her in cash, and she falsely accused me of running off. And then they lie and say, "Well, you did this more than one time." Well, it's like I don't understand. It's like they make up whatever lie to stop me from eating at their restaurant. And it's like they start following the rich people. It's like you don't even have to be a targeted individual, but because you're homeless, the rich people, they are frightened and threatened by you for whatever reason, and they think you're a potential criminal, and they think you're dangerous and out to harm. And homeless people gotta be tortured and abused all day, every day. And homeless doing their own homeless people doing cruelty and abuse. Or there are some people who are not homeless who just hate homeless and do stuff like set you on fire while you're minding your business sleeping, and then laugh and think it's funny. Or I've had it happen to me that they pour water on you while you're trying to sleep. Or they kick you in the head while you're trying to sleep. Or they steal from you. And so, when people do stuff to homeless people, the news suppresses and buries it. Or they'll just make it like a homeless person just randomly died. But they won't say that the homeless person was murdered. But but if a homeless person does something to somebody, it makes national news. They want to make sure it's big and wide on purpose so that a few bad apples will spoil the whole bunch. A few bad apples will spoil the whole bunch. And so now I can't get help as a homeless person because what other the rules set in place because of what other people did. Now let me tell you something. They had somebody, a narcissistic control freak, fake TI perp on Twitter. I had to block her last night. Well, she tried to make it like as if she's disgusted and sick and tired of me begging and asking for help. And she always got like a narcissistic control freak, fake fix-it solution, to everything I block people like that. And so then, it's like she tried to say, oh, well, I'll help you. I don't have much, but I'll help you on the first of the month. But here she wants to talk about, oh, local shelters and food banks been helping people big time since the pandemic. I don't see why you're not getting any help or something like that or whatever. And I'm like, even if they might have all these in place, y'all know how much of a struggle it is. I mean, say if you're a targeted individual, whether homeless or not, and you try to go to the, you try to go to a food bank, I've seen targeted individuals, if they will deny you food or tell you straight up, no, you can't, they will refuse you service because you're targeted. They'll refuse you housing because you're targeted. So, I mean, and it's like, well, and she's like, oh, well, I'm sorry you're homeless. Well, it's like, well, you must have never been homeless, and you're one of the popular fakes. So I mean, she's in league with the popular fakes, but it's like you don't even know the doggone struggle that if you do try to go to a food bank, you can't go because, they deny you service, or they have the staff and other people picking up the food. They're all perps who threaten you or something, or bully you and cuss you out and try to fight you and stuff. And lately, you have to have a car in order to pick up food at these homeless shelters here. I don't have a car. And then the food is plentiful, but the thing is, it's plentiful amount of food, but it's food meat that you have to cook, meat or vegetables that you have to cook. I can't cook anything in this motel. This is like short term, week to week. And so remember what I told y'all about the soup kitchens, that they threaten me with knives and bully me and try to pick fights with me, and that's why I can't go to soup kitchens no more. So they deny me, or they try to skirt around and play all kinds of games to prevent me from getting housing. And so I'm like, great, another fake TI perp who's sick of me begging. And she took the tweet that I posted a week ago and tried to tell me something about it. I mean, And people think you can just go to a shelter. Shelters have limitations. They don't have that, and then they have growing number of people becoming homeless, less people able to get help, and then more housing crisis and stuff like that. So how is it easy to say, oh, just go to a shelter? You fucking ignorant. That's what you are. It ain't that doggone simple. And then if you go to a shelter, they'll bully you and mob you out of the shelter and make sure you're back on the streets. So that they can set you up to be arrested and go to jail just for being homeless on the streets. And the people be like, good to have that animal put away. That's how they'll say. People be like, the rich folks be like, good to have that animal put away. But the real animals, oh, you would rather have all this compassion for cats and dogs. But a homeless human, you'll say, good to have that animal put away. We don't need him in society. Or we don't need her in society. So, today I'm planning to work on, a couple of bits of writing. Like I was trying to say in a previous video before it split off. This could have been one video. But I was thinking about doing a fiction short story. The thought came in my head last night. I thought about doing a fictional short story. And I'm planning to show y'all too. A fictional short story about, as if there was a movie based on my life and based on a true story or something like that. And it's going to be just pure fiction, okay? So, and just for the fun, I guess, But I realized I need to get back on it with Bible reading and prayer. I realized I slacked off. So I need to get back on that too, on doing that too. So, I'm surprised I was able to do just about 2 full videos, and the video might cut off or split into another one again. So I'm going to go ahead and upload these, and I'm going to work on whatever I want, the short story, or work on another blog post that I've been meaning to do since last week, and I'll come back on here later.